All right, we're on to area number 1. Now, obviously, there's lots of different ways to break this shape up, but the simplest and easiest way is to break it up into the least amount of shapes possible. Now, remember, any of these questions, the next 4 questions, or even anyone's in the volume, you want to break it into the least amount of shapes possible. But remember, you are restricted, if we follow our basic discussions, to either squares or rectangles, or triangles, or trapezoids, or circles. Okay? Realistically, you could throw parallelograms in that, but they kind of fall into the trapezoid section, kind of. But that's it. And I noticed in a future question there, I noticed some people, we had the one where it was like this shape. Oops, like that kind of. That at minimum, the smallest amount of shapes you can do will be 2. You have to cut it here. So this would be area 1, which would fall under the trapezoid. This could be area 2, which would fall under the triangle. You can't solve this one outright without doing that. Now, there were some people that I saw were cutting it down here as well and down here, and they had area 3 and area 4. There's no problem with that. I might do some of that in my other example to show you that it can easily be done, but this still falls under our same rules, where both that one and A1 and 2 here will be these squares, and then 3 and 4 would be the triangles. So they're still falling under these basic shapes. So I want to make that clear before I kind of get going here. But I want to kind of stick everything I break down. I want to break it down to one of those 4 simple shapes, just for solving purposes. Okay? And circles in construction usually are going to be like a half circle or a certain percentage of a circle, not always a full circle. It's pretty rare when we have circles attaching to squares, you're having a small percentage of that circle being used. So if I were breaking this one down, oops, all right, pen here. If I were breaking this one down, honestly, I would just do that. That means area 1 is here and area 2 is here. These are 2 simple rectangles. They fall into our 4 shape rule, right? So I'm just going to draw these shapes back up here. Okay, A1 and A2 are both squares. Okay, this falls into our, we can work with this methodology. Now, this is, again, pretty straightforward, but I'm going to make sure I stick to decimal feet, no fractional inches in this one. So I'm just going to take 5 divided by 12, which means this equals 13.4166. And then I have the 8'7", 7 divided by 12 gives me 8.5833. So area 1 is quite simply 13 times 8, right? It's those 2 values multiplied together to give me area 1. So area 1 equals 13.4166, repeating, times 8.5833, repeating. So times 13.41666. First area shape is 115.159722, repeating, and that is square feet. Now for area 2, I have a little bit of legwork to do. First up, I'll deal with the 21 feet 11 down there on the side. So I just do 11 divided by 12, which means this one equals 21.9166. And then I have this dimension all the way across the bottom here, which is going to be the sum of the 3 of those. So let's just do 10 divided by 12 gives me 11.83, repeating. And then we already know what 11 inches is, so this would just be 18.9166, because this is also 11 inches down here, same decimal value. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to first just determine what this length is by adding those 3 numbers together. So I have 11.83 plus 13.41666 plus 18.9166. Now, nice thing about doing this, and it can definitely save you time, I hit equals at this point, which means this bottom here equals 44.166, repeating, right? I'm just going to leave that in my calculator right now because I'm about to use it, because area for number 2 would be 44.166, the value we just used, multiplied by 21.9166. I already have the 44, so I will times by 21.91666, which gives me 967.9861105. Again, I just write all my numbers down, and this is square feet. My answer is asking for square feet alone, so now I just simply have to add those two numbers together. Area 1 plus area 2. So area total equals area 1 plus area 2, which equals, in this case, those two numbers, 115.16. Again, I'm just rounding numbers here. 967.99. And again, I'm going to use all my decimals because I have it. So plus 115.159722. I hit equals, which gives me a total area of 1,083.15 square feet. And that is area number 1.